with the evil empire that they were when they were stacking Lombardis, deflating footballs, and lying about it. In fact, they're a party, and I've got no problem saying it. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome. Hey, want to win the holiday season? Of course you do. That's why you need Aura Frames. Aura Frames are my favorite gift because it's personal, easy, and unforgettable. Get this. You can even upload photos of you and your loved ones before it arrives. Aura Frames is thoughtful from the moment it's unwrapped, and it makes it look like you planned it all along. And let's be real, fellas, this is so much better than that sweater you were eyeing. For a limited time, visit auraframes.com for $45 off on a Carver mat frame with code ROME, and support us by mentioning the Jim Rome Show at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Well, hey there, everybody. Happy Monday to you here on Sports Daily. Glad to be with you. I know it's a little unnerving for a lot of football fans right now. We're digging in on a Reaction Monday. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland with you here. Max Power producing. If you need to blow off a little steam, you can do it a lot of different ways today. You can reach us on the KFH hotline at 869-1240. You can leave us video comments, Facebook, YouTube, X, all available for you here throughout the program today. You can also leave us voice messages through the Odyssey app. It's all there for you to get in touch with us today. Glad to be here with you. Glad to be with you on 12 News Connected as well. We have a ton to get to. We'll, of course, react to the Chiefs. Big losers yesterday, and it's probably about time to be in panic mode. We'll get into it. Joshua Brisco joins us from the Chiefs Radio Network a little bit later. KU basketball fans in a little bit of panic mode with Darryn Peterson not playing again. We'll get into that as well. K-State gets the job done. A little dicey this weekend. One win closer to a bowl game on the football side. We've got some big college basketball matchups coming up this week to get ready for. It is going to be a lot of fun. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, where groups can gather for holiday fun. Beers with the boys, girls' night out, or a glass of wine with a longtime friend. WBC, the place where groups gather for the holidays. East, West, and historic Delano. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. TJ, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. There's nothing to be stressed about. There's nothing to be worried about because it's Shocker basketball season. I'm happy. It's here.
Nothing at all to be stressed about.
Maybe the Chiefs are the Chiefs the sacrificial lamb that they have to go back to the olden days so that the Shockers can be good like it was in the olden days. I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe so. It was certainly something yesterday for the Chiefs, and we'll get college basketball as we make our way through the week. It is, boy, I'm telling you, it's wild. We also get the big news on Friday that we haven't talked about. Speaking of the Shockers, Mike Kennedy, longtime voice that you've heard here forever on KFH, will retire at the end of the season. So congratulations to Mike Kennedy. While we're mentioning the Shockers there, what a career it has been. And hopefully he gets some swan songs here, maybe with the return of the postseason for both baseball and basketball. But it's Chiefs this morning, TJ. I had it wrong. Josh Simmons played pretty well, and the Chiefs couldn't get it done. It was an ugly game all around. The Chiefs didn't play well, and we'll go all the way into it here in just a few minutes, and then again in the next hour with Josh Brisco. But they just didn't play very well. They didn't play very well on offense, and Denver beat them. And now they ought to be in panic mode. They are on the outside right now looking into the postseason.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I don't know what day, like Friday or something. I was like, where is the panic meter? And I was like, I think that, like, for me, it might be a 6 before the Broncos game, just because of what looms on the other side of that. If they beat the Broncos, it could have, calmed down a little bit. But I think that, it's like we're talking about making the playoffs at this point.
We are talking. Yep, that's exactly right.
That's insanity.
Look, it's not, sitting at 500 right now. Like for example, the difference between Baltimore and Kansas City, both at 5-5, with the Chiefs owning the tiebreaker. Like, it feels far more for the Chiefs simply because the Chiefs have this insane schedule that they still have to play. Oh, good. You want to cry about it? Because you get the Colts and then the Cowboys and then the Texans and then the Chargers and then the Broncos again, all down the stretch. You might be able to lose one game if you can count on it. Meanwhile, a team like Baltimore, Jets, Bengals twice, the Steelers, who have been more impressive, but we'll see about Aaron Rodgers now with an injury. So, like, it's time to, because the Chargers lost again yesterday. That's fine. Jacksonville is what they are. That tiebreaker feels like it's going to be a real pain in the rear for Kansas City. But Denver, New England, and Indianapolis now, these three upstart teams, and if you want to put Pittsburgh in there, but those top three teams, like, they're not going anywhere. You can beat Indianapolis, that's great next week. You're not really doing much to their playoff chances. Same with Denver now, if you beat them the next time you play them. Now it's just to the point for the Chiefs. You're just trying to win every game so that you can make the playoffs. And that, for a team that was the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl
24 hours ago.
Yesterday at 11 a.m., that is craziness that it can fall that far with a win. But I was in the same trap. I was very confident in the Chiefs yesterday if they were healthy on the offensive line. And they were. And they played like crap. So, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, Chiefs fans. I'm stunned by that outcome. They now dropped to 10-1 in those Super Bowl odds. They are now the 5th odds-on favorite, which is surprising. Still the 2nd in the AFC. But I ain't touching it. You got to tell me they can get to the postseason now.
I mean, like, yesterday, the thing that just is the, like, knife in my side right now whenever I think about the Kansas City Chiefs is the fact of, like, yesterday, everybody was out there. Like, there's no crutch of, well, Simmons will be back soon. Like, Rashee Rice will be, like, that was the team that was supposed to be playing in the Super Bowl.
They're all there.
And, like, Denver enforced some stuff. Like, their pass rush was awesome. They brought their secondary a lot and blitzed the Chiefs, and they didn't have an answer for it most of the time. But the Chiefs played bad. The Chiefs had 10 penalties. Like, they played terrible.
Terrible. That was as bad a game for Patrick Mahomes as I can remember, as far as just missed throws. It was not the offensive line.
There's even drops too. Like, you could pinpoint drops, 10 different things.
I mean, yes, drops were bad. Like, it was just a bad game. The penalties on both sides were disgusting. Like, it was just like, come on, like, with these penalties. We'll dig in just a minute. But yeah, it was as bad a performance. Not energy, not any of that. It was just mistakes, like just not making plays right and left in that game. The defense gave them every opportunity. That loss is on the offense. There is no question, in my opinion, that is just I just cannot believe that they played that poorly in that game. They just typically don't do that in those really big spots where they have to have it. And they had to have it, and they failed miserably.
Guess what? Everything comes full circle, because now, after we've had the conversation for all of the other local teams, Chiefs lose yesterday, and I get on Twitter and I see, it's time. We need to get Andy Reid out of Kansas City. Like, you're insane. Lord. You are insane.
Good Lord. Somebody said that to you directly, or is trying to put
it's
that
all,
into the universe?
No, it's all over social media. People are saying, Veach and Reid are done. This team's done. They won a Super Bowl.
I just don't believe that for a second that's actually out there. You have to follow this idiocy.
I'll start sending them to you. But
Okay.
it might be
Is
people
is this like Joe Dirt out there claiming this, or is this,
Yes.
okay. Well,
I mean, they're fans.
yeah. Opinions are like something.
Yeah.
We've all got them and they all stink, including ours, because I thought the Chiefs were going to just beat the Broncos bad. Sports Talk on KFH presented by Paramount Plus. Now streaming The Return of Landman from Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Yellowstone. Academy Award winner Billy Bob Thornton is back, featuring Academy Award nominees Demi Moore, Andy Garcia, and Sam Elliott. Landman, new season, now streaming only on Paramount Plus. We're coming right back. We'll dig into it on the Chiefs. My goodness, you just ruined the week here for us, Chiefs. We're coming right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Is Sports Daily on KFH.
Well, welcome back in, everybody. Chiefs fans, hang in there. We're trying to get you there. We're trying to get you there. Maybe this will help. The Odyssey holiday hookup now through Friday, November 21st at 11:30. Odyssey taking care of the food and fun this Thanksgiving. Win a full holiday feast and Thunder tickets for the whole family. Smoked turkey, ham, all the sides. From Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, more than $200 in value, and 10 tickets to Wichita Thunder's Star Wars night on November 29th. All right, so we're back talking Chiefs. Lose yesterday to the Broncos, 22-19 was the weird final score. Tons of field goals. What was it? 1 touchdown apiece. I think we got
Chiefs
out of that
2.
deal.
Chiefs scored 2.
And then the miss. Yeah. And then we got butkered. That second miss. You're right. We thought the line and the spread and all that stuff were in danger there. Look, Mahomes threw it 45 times. The Chiefs had lots of plays, right? Hunt still was able to get 13 carries. You could say they should have run the ball more. Maybe they should have. But that wasn't – Mahomes just was missing throws to me. Like when I think back to the game, early in the game, they missed at least 2 touchdowns, TJ, if not 3, on deep balls that were all there. Like the game plan was correct. To your commentary, I guess, of people saying it's time for Andy Reid and Brett Veach to go or whatever dumb thing people are saying, the players didn't execute at all yesterday. Like the game plan coming in was solid. They should have had, like they had it set up. They should have had 2 touchdowns right out of the gate. And Mahomes missed the throw late in the game when they needed to run some clock after they took the lead and got the ball back. Mahomes misses an easy throw to, was it Brashard Smith coming around up the left side? Just throws it behind him to pick up a first down and run clock. Like it was an absolute lack of execution all across the board. All the penalties on the offensive line. I like that didn't have anything to do with coaching or Brett Veach. The players flat did not execute yesterday, and they should have beat Denver, and they didn't. And now it's panic time.
I mean, there is arguments to be made about, play calling in certain situations of things of that nature, but, I don't think we need to waste any more time with people's stupid opinions. I think that it's mainly the fact that the players didn't execute because the game plan, was nothing different than what the Chiefs do whenever they succeed. And so that's, they didn't execute what they want to do. Is there comments to be made about maybe you can change it a little bit? I know that the Mitchell Schwartz, who's notorious for Chiefs commentary on Twitter, was going off about the fact that the Chiefs went under center, handed the ball off, and every time that they did that, they got 5+ yards out of it, and then never did it again. And so it's like late in the game. I mean, last night I, was going through and, you point at the series where you have the ball tied with 2 minutes left and you go 3 and out immediately. You waste a minute of game time and just 1, 2, 3
And
punt.
that's the one where Mahomes missed an easy throw. The throw was there.
It's right. Like you could have just with Harrison Butker, who makes 60+ yard field goals, which he's better at those than chip shots, apparently. Like you don't have to do much to lead a game-winning drive, and everything pointed towards this is where it's going to happen. And just 1, 2, 3 punt, Go ahead. And then, boom, there it is.
Harrison Butker also kicked one out of bounds again, and the extra point. I don't know. Look, it's not a game plan thing. Could they have run it again? Like they're down to just Kareem Hunt. Like I'm not going to sit here this year with the offensive line healthy and the weapons they have in the past game and complain that they're passing the ball. This is how they built their team. Kareem Hunt is like the lone guy back there. He did have 4.5 yards of carry yesterday. Probably you could have run it just a little bit more if you want to take that drive or a couple of key spots where they run it more on first down. Okay, but that's not the reason the Chiefs lost the game. The Chiefs never got it going like they should have because they continued to make mistakes. It was just mistakes all day long coming out of a bye week. It was as un-Chiefs like a game as we've seen in this stretch of games. Think about all the things going into that game. And this is, it's kind of like the Jacksonville game where you just, except the Jacksonville game, I'll give Denver more credit than Jacksonville, but it feels like that where it's like, how did they not win that game? Everything going into it, the Chiefs' dominance over the AFC West, right? The coming off of a bye week and the way that they've historically played and Andy Reid teams play, being prepared, being sharp coming out of a bye week. That's in there. The Chiefs with their back against the wall because their back was close to it's up against it now. It was real close to it going into the game. They got all their offensive linemen healthy. Josh Simmons played a pretty good game. It all lined up for what we would normally see the Chiefs be in a smash spot, if not at least a spot to go have a big time performance. And they fell flat in just about every way. The defense was fine. The defense didn't have a bad game. The defense played fine. The defense certainly played well enough to win, but the offense just did not give them a chance in this game.
Yeah. I think that you can just chalk it up to they played bad and there was maybe bad play calling. Denver, I don't know, penalties, anything that you want to make of it. My point is I think that there's just much larger conversations that come out of it. And that as well. I think that one of the biggest ones that caught my attention was, Tommy, our boss, tweeted out that the Chiefs last year, there was a lot of getting lucky, and that was something that a lot of people talked about. They won a lot of one-score games, and they didn't really look good during the regular season. You saw what happened in the Super Bowl, where it finally kind of came crashing down there, and they brought back the exact same team, and now you're not as lucky. You've lost 5 one-score games. You're 0-5 in those one-score games instead of 12-0 in them. So it's like, is that just a result of the pendulum swinging the other way and coming back down to earth, law of averages? Like, if you don't make much changes, that's kind of the result that you get. And that might be what we're seeing. And I think that there's, as we said, conversations about if this team can make the playoffs, if this team gets into the playoffs, can they win a game on the road? Like, they're going to have to go play. They might play the Broncos in the first round.
Yeah. And Tommy made that point all summer, and it was a good point. Like, and I didn't totally agree with it.
It looked like it didn't matter because Josh Simmons was so good that he looked like he was going to fix all the problems.
Well, it was Rashee Rice. Last year they did bring it back, but they essentially added a left tackle and Rashee Rice. So it was bringing it back, but adding some big pieces in there. And you're like, okay, well, that to me does feel like it's probably enough. And yes, there was the luck factor of last year. There's no question about that. And it still exists and it's still out there. I think the question now really is, I think we're all probably okay with the team if they can get to the playoffs, right? If the Chiefs get to the playoffs, it is still that old. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce he had to be there yesterday, and he showed up for him. He was one of the only guys that looked like a star player. They targeted him, like 13 times in that game, just an absurd amount that he was asked to do. Yeah, 13 targets. Rice had as bad a game as he's had as a pro, I think, with the drops and the mistakes that he made. And again, like, I do like I like this team on paper this year more than I like the team last year that was finding ways to win games through a lot of it was luck. Yeah. This team's better on paper. They had a bad game. And now, because of the injuries early in the season, they just don't have the wiggle room to have bad games once they're healthy. They don't. Not this year in the AFC.
Well, let's take that a step farther. So we'll say that this team's season started against the Raiders when Rashid came back. So it started in week 6. Since then, they've gone 2-2.
Yeah, right.
Is that like?
That's
I don't know. That was it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And I remember, Chiefs reporters were doing stories after, I believe it was the Commanders game, about like this Chiefs team has 3 losses, but they're more fun to watch than a team last year that had less than 3 the entire season. And it's like, it was true. It was 100% true.
It was
now
true. Not yesterday, it wasn't true, but it was true.
That's the thing, though, is that on paper the team is better, but like when you look at the losses that they've had this year, it's night and day from like the Chiefs were good at. This was the argument as well. I'm talking in circles here. The argument that the Broncos, were lucky and could pull out games, and are they this year's Chiefs team? Last year, the Chiefs were really good at winning games late after struggling for 40 minutes. The Broncos have fallen into whatever you want to say, 7 of their wins, by the other team, just absolutely giving it away.
Bo Nix deserves a lot of credit for that, and he has done a nice job. He did a nice job yesterday, and he deserves credit for that part of things. I think he shows up at the end of games, and he makes all the big plays when they have to be made. If that is his legacy, if he is maybe not as physically gifted a thrower as the other quarterbacks in this class, which look really good, but he's the scrappy one that finds ways to go get wins late, that's a pretty good legacy to have, because that's what he's doing right now. That's what he's doing this year. He's just he's been that for them. And so, okay, fine. They're finding ways to win games. They're that is such a big win for them to go to 9-2. They're fine now, right? And the Chiefs and the Ravens and now the Texans, who might have the league's best defense, all sit down there at 5-5. Who is coming out of the AFC standings? If you're the Chiefs and now Baltimore is going to make a fever pitch, and Houston is pesky, who you play, by the way, when they get their quarterback back, who's falling out right now?
That's my biggest thing as well. That's another thing to think about of why it's no longer the Chiefs are chasing the Broncos to get the 1 seed. The Chiefs are chasing nobody. The Chiefs are just hoping that somebody else messes up.
The Chiefs better go 6-1 down the stretch. I'm not sure 7 losses is getting you in this year.
I agree.
So that's your wiggle room. You got to go 6-1. Now, can they do that? Every fiber of our being says, well, of course they can, but you have to put it in the context of can this team this year do that?
I've said it, and I was wrong a couple of years ago whenever the Chiefs lost all these games during the regular season. I'll tie it back to KU basketball the past 2 years, where it's once you get them in, it's KU. They'll be fine. They're gonna be okay. And it's we just watched a season of struggle. It's the argument that I always make, that if it flies like a duck and swims like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. The Chiefs make penalties, drop easy passes. The quarterback doesn't make the plays he needs to, and they lose stupid games. That's what bad teams do. That's what non-playoff teams do. Right. If that happens, they aren't going to prove to us that they should win. And I can't believe that Vegas hasn't adjusted more than they have. And the Chiefs have earned the benefit of the doubt.
Because Vegas doesn't think about things emotionally. They don't usually factor that stuff in. They're just, I believe, they're just looking at the roster, right? And the likelihood that roster wins games. The crazy part of it is the Chiefs are going to, what's the look ahead line on the Colts? Chiefs are going to be favored in that game. They're going to be favored at Dallas. They're going to be favored at home against Houston. They're going to be favored at home against the Chargers. They're going to be favored on the road against Tennessee. They'll be favored in every game they play the rest of the way. And so Vegas looks at it that way. If they're the favorite, Vegas will say, well, they're going to win those games, right? And if they're the favorite when they're looking at Super Bowl odds, because that's how they're taking what they think of a team. And so that they're the favorite in every game the rest of the way, they're not that worried about them getting in. That's just like math stuff for a bookmaker, right? They're just looking at like the likelihood of them winning each individual game they play the rest of the way. And they're calling them the favorite in all of those games. I will be stunned if they're an underdog unless there's some sort of injury in any game the rest of the way that the Chiefs play. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they'll be favored in all of them.
They are. They're favored by 4 on the post-Humus ESPN bet here for the Colts game. So
there you go.
That's kind of insane to me. I'm taking the Colts on that all day. I think the other part of it as well, to play more devil's advocate, is the fact that the Chiefs are the most bet on team in the entire NFL. Like, they're not going to run a flash sale on the Chiefs and have to pay that out if something happens.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. But the reality is when you're as close to it as this part of the world is, you can just see it. Like, they're just not executing at that level. They had a stretch where they did, and that's what makes the Jags game so frustrating, right? Because it started with the Baltimore game, and then you had whatever that was at Jacksonville. But the other thing is too, this team's been terrible on the road. And there is that part of it. Like, they've been recently, they've been great at home. They've been really bad on the road. So maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe that's the simple way to look at this. But we'll see what Dallas does tonight. Dallas, look, I don't believe in Dallas big picture, but Dallas just got a whole lot better defensively on their defensive roster, and they already had a world-class offense. So that all of a sudden down there at their place where they play much better and you haven't played on the road very well, like that becomes a trouble spot on the schedule. So you're really looking at Tennessee and Vegas as the games you feel good about. Those are both road games. So I don't know how good you feel about anything based on the way the Chiefs have played on the road this year. It is going to be butt puckering time all the rest of the way. They've got to go 6-1.
I mean, I'm looking at games like to go back to your argument about what the hypothetical spreads would be here. Like, they'll probably be favorites in every single game, but like, I don't think I'd pick them. Like, I don't like the Chiefs by anything against the Colts.
Right.
The Broncos again. Like, those are 2-1s. The rest of these are winnable.
At home against the Texans, maybe.
I know that's a scary one, but like,
not the way the offense. Like, I am so surprised at how poorly the offense executed yesterday. Like, I can't believe Mahomes missed that many throws. I can't believe they had that many drops. I suppose I can believe they had the penalties lost along the offensive line because that is a really good pass rush they were trying to slow down. So that part of it, I guess, isn't quite as surprising. But it's just – and you got to think, too, they had a pick 6 taken off the board. Like –
yeah. I mean, the Broncos – that was my point about the Broncos, winning ugly games, is they didn't do themselves any favors either. They had more penalty yards than the Chiefs did. Like,
oh, totally. This was squaring up. Like, I was sitting there and I was like, oh man, Max is gonna have a field day on Monday, because the pick 6 got taken off the board and like all these things were happening. And then I'm like, well, but you can't really say anything because the Chiefs they're getting penalized just as much. Like,
that was just a bad football game. The one of the things I thought about when we're talking about the schedule before we wrap up this segment is Chiefs played the Broncos primetime on Christmas night, and like I was like, I got to go to that game. I got to go cover that game. Like, that might be the AFC West championship game. The Chiefs may be out of playoff contention by the time we get to that game at this point. If they lose to the Colts and the Texans, like, that game might not matter.
Oh, if they look, it's 7 losses. It doesn't look like it's going to be like, that's not going to be a thing this year. Not when you lose tiebreakers to like everybody ahead of you. All right. We're coming back. We got more on this later. Josh Brisco will join us. He's going to be in panic mode for sure. We've got college basketball to talk about. K-State basketball tonight on KFH. Wildcats hosting Tulsa. You'll hear it right here on KFH or on the Odyssey app. Tune in at 6. We're coming back. Let's talk another panic moment for KU basketball fans with Darryn Peterson when we return.
lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. We are happy to be joined right now by Wichita State head men's basketball coach Paul Mills. Coach, welcome back into Sports Daily. Glad to have you here with us again. Look, I'll just put this right out there for you guys, and you can just keep on doing it. You're not going to score 100 points every game, and we're not 100% sure if you're going to be a great three-point shooting team. We'll just say, oh, and maybe we should throw in you guys are going to be very turnover prone. Whatever it is. That was awesome last week. Just putting it all right out there for everybody. That's pretty special performance from your guys.
Yeah, TJ mentioned one day in the press conference that, I don't know that this will be a regular. And I just said, how do you know that? So the other night when we were sitting at 95 with 2 minutes and 10 seconds, I said, I sure hope TJ is in the building. And long story short, we didn't get there. So I didn't have anything for TJ afterwards. We were just knocking on the door. We couldn't kick it down. But, we've played well early, and, especially early, there's a lot of excitement, and we haven't hit much in the way other than a first half there against UNC Asheville. Just had a lot of foul trouble that we kind of had to fight through. But I feel like we've gotten better each game, and the test will get tougher and tougher as they all do this time of year. And as you prepare to play really good teams, and then you enter conference and so forth. So far, we've been able to play well in Koch Arena.
Yeah. Now the question becomes, can it travel on the road? That was kind of the thing. You score 100 points at home. Can you put up that many threes on the road? It always gets difficult in somebody else's building. I'm sure you guys are getting on a plane like momentarily to go up to Idaho and take on Boise State. What's kind of the thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our players hear me say this way too much, but you don't prepare the path for the player. You prepare the player for the path, right? So we just, hey, if I have this temperature and I have this uniform on and it's this time of day, I play well. And it's like, no, we've got to be able to play well regardless of what the path is. And you have to go play in tough environments. They don't hold our conference tournament here in Wichita. And we voted. We tried to get them in Wichita, but they didn't see it the same way we did. But you've got to be able to go on the road and win basketball games. It's kind of what distinguishes good teams from great teams. And being able to win home games is one thing, but being able to Jacob didn't mention anything about us defensively, just talked about us offensively, but we need the defense to really step up and be really good, because again, you're not going to always shoot it well. And you may have heard me say this in the press conference, TJ, but defense is why you win, and offense will tell you by how much. And we've been good 2 of the 3 games defensively, haven't been great. And our defensive rebounding has to get better against a really good Boise State team.
I was going to ask you about the rebounding aspect. It's hard to look at that when you make so many shots, but as that stuff comes through, are you pleased with the progress? I mean, we're pretty confident you'd be pleased with 16 of 32 from 3.
Yeah.
But is the rebounding there? Are those other things that don't just jump off the screen to you at this point? Are those coming along at the way you need them to?
Yeah, I mean, so this is a little nuanced. You have to be able to rebound a percentage. You can't really get caught up in the numbers, right? Okay. If you're thinking about a guy who scores 50 points, but let's say he took 50 shots, it's like, hey, but if he took 20 shots and scored 50, and so you're gauging efficiency. What we haven't been good at is in our efficiency. The other night they were able to get little north of 30% of their rebounds. Now, I will tell you, it only translated to 5 second chance points. But the thing, we had 6 block shots. And the thing you have to remember is block shots ends up, if the ball goes out of bounds, ends up as a team rebound for the opposition. And so of their 11, 5 of them were team rebounds. So if we take that out, you could see that we're making strides, but this will be challenged on tomorrow night against Boise, who's really good, not only just rebounding the ball, but they're good on both ends.
Yeah, Boise State's an interesting team, Coach. You know, they lost to Hawaii Pacific to that first game of the year, Division II school, but then rattle off 3 straight wins. They're still a top 60 team. And Ken Palm, you're a better Ken Palm translator than I. Just what is it that they do well? What is it that the analytics like so much about this team?
Yeah, I mean, rebounding the ball, you go before that Montana State game, they were 2 in the country in defensive rebounding, and they were 23rd in offensive rebounding. And Montana State did a really good job of keeping them off the glass. You know, they also have 5s that can shoot. Everybody on the floor can actually shoot. So that they put everybody on the floor can shoot. And so that puts you in a number of compromising positions, because if your pick and roll coverage is asking you to put 2 on the ball, you're going to have to get a 3rd guy involved. And now you've got all these backside 2-on-1s that you got to recover for. So we're kind of find ourselves in that situation where, our pick and roll coverage is going to be dictated a lot by how we turn around and rebound the basketball. Getting to shooters is paramount. Rebounding the basketball is paramount. And, I wouldn't want to, this is a long time ago, TJ, probably before you were born, but way back in 2008, was on a team that I coached at Baylor, and we lost to a Division II team. And it was the best thing in the world to us to open the season, because it served as a wake-up call. I've heard Boise State say it's the best thing that happened to those guys. They were predicted high. They were expected to win. When you get a wake-up call like that, it doesn't go against your metrics from a net standpoint. And when you get a wake-up call like that, I just think it galvanizes your team, and I think you've seen that with those guys.
So Coach, do you think I'm 16 years old, by the way, Holt? Do you think I am?
You're just young, TJ.
Not far. When you guys go on the road like this, that team's obviously good, and they've recovered. How much of what we've seen as fans, like, do you hope goes with you? Is when you're going on the road, you haven't seen this team on the road. That kind of shooting is hard to count on. Turn the ball over 2 times in a game. Like, to me, that feels like the thing that, boy, if that travels with you guys, you're going to be in good shape, as you don't know what the gym's going to do to your shooters or those kinds of things.
Yeah, you're 100% right. The rebounding needs to travel. The ball security needs to travel. And the sharing of the ball. We had 17 assists the other night. That needs to travel. Whether or not shots go in doesn't always happen. And you're again, when you play 31 games that are on the regular season schedule before you get to the postseason, you can't depend on shooting. You're not going to shoot it well for 31 straight games. So that's not anything that we're going to rely on. We need to make sure we're taking the right shots. And then, the thing that we've been pretty good at is we've been able to get north of 40% of every one of our offensive rebounds. So if you're retrieving 4 out of 10, you're doing a pretty good job. So the tenacity, from that end, that makes you a good rebounding team. Because I trust the character of this team, that's stuff that will travel.
Coach, I'll ask you about Will Berg before we wrap up here, because obviously the 3-pointers are what's going to jump off the page. But, I know as the season goes along, Will going to be a fan favorite for being the 7-foot guy. But the things that he does, he's going to be a huge part of the unspoken parts of this offense, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something that Will does really well is he made us all Swedish meatballs.
I saw Taylor's story. He was cooking.
Yeah, and I'm just telling you, he should open up a restaurant. I've never had authentic Swedish meatballs before, but he and his dad, Martin, made them for the team on, what was that, Friday? And wow. All of that to say, he's had plenty of Swedish meatballs because he is a big guy. Yeah. And he needs to continue to carve out space down there. We need to continue to, when we get cross match, because you do notice people switching on account of Dre's quickness and on account of the gravity that Kenyon Giles and Mike present, because teams want to push up, and then being able to get to the rim with Will. The best shot in basketball is a free throw. If you just look at the metrics, the second best shot is an assisted shot at the rim. And we've been able to get shots at the rim because of the pressure and the force that Will has been able to play with. But because of our guards, it kind of puts you in a difficult situation. And so we need to continue that. We need to get better at it. But being able to get cross-matched on a guy like that. And then we also, because of his decision-making ability, we need to be able to play through him at times. And again, I know we're just 2 weeks in, and we'll continue to get better.
His offense, because we didn't know coming from Purdue, I think because of who he was behind, it's better than what I expected. How much upside is there for him offensively?
A lot. Quite a bit, to be honest with you. He's not finishing at the rate that not only does he expect, but we expect him to do on shots around the rim. And, when the game got close the other night, we were able to go to him because of the players that we can put on the floor. Teams have to stay a little extended, but he's going to begin to draw attention. You're going to see double teams. You're going to see him getting out. So he's going to have to showcase his passing ability. But I've said this before. I still think he hasn't gotten his land legs. He's not used to playing this much. And I think as he gets used to playing this much, he'll get a better base. He'll get a better foundation. Our staff has done a tremendous job in just helping him in the progress that he's made. And to his credit, though, you have to embrace it. And he's embraced it every step of the way. And he's going to get a lot better, in my opinion.
Coach, I've asked you this before, and I'm sure I'll ask you it again. But, the team kind of getting its flowers after the performance the other night. You talked about how he fits in with the guards that you have. And you've talked about, what TJ Williams does well and what Karan can do well on offense and everything like that. Was this what was envisioned whenever these guys were coming in? Is this how you drew it up to say, if we get these guys, we'll get a 7-footer that can do this? Or was it something that in June you're like, oh, this is going to work like this. This will work like this.
Yeah, a little of both, right? When you lose quality players, and this is going to happen in this day and age, when you lose quality players, you have to find ways to turn around and replace them. We don't get Tim Duncan for 20 years and they stay here anymore. It's you have to find guys. And I would add Emmanuel Okorafor in there. When you look at that total package of what Will and Emmanuel, they had 21 points, 16 rebounds, 6 block shots. And when you can have two guys like that, and Noah was able to add a rebound there late, but when you add two experienced guys like that, they both bring different values, and they're able to we're able to kind of keep them fresh. I think that helps. I would be lying if I said, hey, we definitely have a formula here that I know. You don't know as much as you want to think you don't know the character of a team. And you have an idea about who players are, but you don't know who they are character-wise, but they've been great. So it's a combo of both.
Coach, safe travels. Remember, TJ says there's no way you can score 100 on the road in Boise.
We'll see if it happens again this year, TJ. I just want to win. I don't care if it's 50.
Coach, we appreciate it. Safe travels. We'll talk again soon. There goes Paul Mills. We're right up against it. We're coming back for another hour of Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
All right, welcome back in. Thanks to Paul Mills, Wichita State men's basketball coach, for stopping by. If you missed anything there, you can go back and listen for free on the Odyssey app. That'll get podcasted out for you. Good conversations there about Shocker basketball. They have a massive, exciting opportunity ahead of them tomorrow, a true road game at Boise State, a team that's right around the top 50 in the country right now. The metrics like them offensively, defensively. This looks like a tournament team out of a good league, true road game. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have it for you tomorrow night. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, of course. On the program, we've been talking Chiefs. We've got some Chiefs comments we'll get to here in just a second. We will talk to Josh Brisco, our Chiefs insider, Chiefs Radio Network. That's coming up in a little bit, and we will get to Darryn Peterson and KU a little later in the hour as well. So a lot coming up for you here. It's all on tap for you, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, where groups gather for that holiday fun while everyone's in town. Make it maybe the WBC unofficial high school or college alumni meetup spot. More than 15 different beers, a Christmas cocktail list, pizzas everyone will love. Make Wichita Brewing Company the place where groups gather for the holiday season. It'll be a lot to cram in here, TJ, in this hour. But real quick reaction there to Coach Mills. I think that we're seeing exactly what we'd hope to see out of Shocker basketball 3 games in. I mean,
I think
with the step up in competition will be good and well timed.
It will. I think that he's playing it close to the vest about not close to the vest. I think that he's being cautiously optimistic, but I think that he feels the same way that we do. I think that they know how good this team can be, but I also think that they know that there's been 7-0 starts to seasons that have turned into what they don't want to happen. And so I think that that's for myself as well. Everybody keeps asking me what I think of the Shockers, and I have to keep talking myself down of this team's going to the tournament.
It feels a little different. It feels a little different. It's a little easier to see the pieces fitting together. We said this. We said it in the off season. On paper, the idea of these pieces together make a lot of sense. They do seem to fit together well. And then there are a couple other developments in that. TJ Williams being somebody that looks like he can help and be a player right away. That's maybe not something we expected because we hadn't seen it yet. We certainly had high expectations for him in general. And then the other part is they have the right attitude, right? From everything we've been told all off season by people close to the program, directly from people in the program, to anecdotally what you hear from the TBT guys. This is a group that people are oh yeah, we like this group.
Yeah,
so,
I think that it's not so much the fact that we're that us and fans and even the Shockers a little bit are pounding their chest about a win over Loyola Chicago. I think the thing that gets people so excited is that it's this team compared to last year's team or the year before's team or even the year before that's team. It wasn't even a Paul Mills team. This is the best team since Tyson Etienne and Dexter Dennis are playing. And you could make an argument that if they're even better than that, we don't know yet. But on paper, we've seen the successes.
Yeah, they've played a couple of games. They've looked really good. It is reaffirming what we'd hoped out of the team. They're winning by big margins, and they're winning in a way that we hoped they'd be able to. Pretty soon, there will be games against Boise State, St. Mary's, and then either Colorado State or Virginia Tech and one more. There's going to be a bunch of really good games we see before Christmas that are really going to tell us a lot. This is a nice schedule. This is a schedule to get us excited. And then, the thing that gets me excited is the league is wide open, right? This isn't the Haggerty Memphis teams where you can just pencil somebody, at least based on expectations, right? Which are worth very little these days, but it just feels like, why not Wichita State in the league based on what we've seen through 3 games? They're about to take it on the road and play a big one against Boise. All right, a couple comments here on the Chiefs as we get ready to bring in Joshua Brisco in the next segment. Rick says he's glad he doesn't have, TJ was mentioning the Christmas game, Amazon, so he doesn't have to watch it. That was that was probably the top sentiment on the groups of Chiefs people and texts and everything yesterday that I was getting was everyone was all right, well, the season's over. We don't have to worry about that anymore. It's not. It'll be stressful. There's probably 2 losses away from it being put a nail in their coffin done. And look, they're going to come out and they're going to look like world beaters. At least I'll call it 2 times in the next month. Like they're just going to smash people and be like, there it is. They're back.
It's going to be, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be the Thanksgiving game at Dallas whenever the entire country is watching them again. And it's prime time.
Man, I'd be careful with that game. That game is starting to. I need to see Dallas tonight. They made those trades. They got into a bye week. They've had a little time to mix them in. Again, my expectations for Dallas are low this year. I've told everybody in the world that through the offseason, they're not going to be good on defense. This isn't going to be it. This isn't going to be the year. They are going all in, or they should, for next year. And you saw the beginnings of that by those trades. They did just get 2 players added to their defense that are significant upgrades for them. And so, that's that game. I'm in Dallas because offensively, they're a really good team offensively. When their weakness is probably a good pass rush, which the Chiefs do not have. So it's like, okay, that one actually does worry me a little bit now.
It worries me too. That was
the Chiefs play on the road.
Yes, that was just a joke of that'd be the true Chiefs fashion of in prime time in front of the whole country. You play good.
Yesterday they were in front of the whole country, coming off of a bye week with everything to play for, and they could not have fallen flatter. Everyone is perfect on social media says on X that the Chiefs are 1-4 on the road this year. They'd have to win 3 playoff road games. Now it's a good point to think about their chances at a Super Bowl, how bad they played on the road, knowing that they would have to go on the road to do it. I would imagine by the time, if that becomes a conversation to have, that will probably lean more into 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl going on the road than this year. And that's probably irresponsible of us. We probably should look more at what happened this year in the regular season. It's a good point. I mean, look, this was always a year of a little bit of unknown for the Chiefs, right? Like it ended so poorly last year. We were unknown on, can a rookie left tackle make all the difference? What's Rashee Rice going to look like when he comes back? Well, the rookie left tackle has looked good, and then he had a time away from the team. And Rice, before drops yesterday, had looked good. Xavier Worthy's kind of been a non-factor. Like a lot of the things we thought, and they're having to lean into Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce shouldn't be the guy they're having to lean into in early November. Like he's supposed to be playoff Travis Kelce. They have all these other things, yet they're getting to the point where they got to throw it to Kelce 13 times. What the hell's going on with Xavier Worthy?
I know.
Right? What's going on with Rashee Rice? Catch the ball. Like Kelce's an old man. He does not need 13 targets in a game. As great as he is, like that's not going to be the winning formula for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, so what's the Chiefs' record? They're 5-5.
Yeah.
So through 10 games that season, the Chiefs were 7-3. Then they lost 3 of their next 5.
Bad stretch, right?
And then they won 7 games in a row and won the Super Bowl, basically. So
it's not. Look, I don't. It's a week-to-week proposition. The Chiefs are the team that smashed the Ravens even before Lamar Jackson got hurt. They beat the Lions, and they're still like on paper toe-to-toe fine to play anybody. I mean, it's not. It's just the likelihood that they don't play particularly well is high. I mean, it's high. Max jokes that they're the greatest 5-5 team in NFL history. I'm not sure that they're the greatest 5-5 team in the NFL this year. Baltimore's 5-5. They haven't had Lamar Jackson for a while. Lamar Jackson played terrible yesterday. Like terrible, and they won.
And they freaking won that game. I watched that game, and I was hate watching so bad just to prove you wrong that the Ravens aren't good.
Yeah, they're fine. They're okay. I'm not. I think Cleveland does have a good defense, but
Shedeur. We haven't even talked about Shedeur Sanders. He played yesterday.
I know, right? I flipped it when the second I heard that it was on. So I wasn't watching Red Zone when the Chiefs were playing. I was just watching the Chiefs, and then I heard in the update, and Shedeur Sanders is leading him down the field. I was like, couldn't find the remote fast enough. I was
that's what it looked like at KU too. I said, Rachel, come over here. Shedeur's playing.
So he flipped it over, and then I watched him for like 3 plays, and he looked terrible. So I don't know how he looked overall, but for those 3 plays I flipped over during the commercial break, it was not good. I don't even know why he played. I haven't even had a chance to look at all that yet. We're going to get into look, it is absolutely usually I'm telling you, I've been the one right here on this show the last 3 years. Like, it's fine, everybody, like, don't panic. They're going to get to the playoffs and then we'll take it from there, right? And then they'll match up and we'll get there. Last year it was, yeah, I know they haven't lost any games, but man, they have some major deficiencies that are a problem on the offensive line. This year, guys, like, the path is not good. Like, it's going to be really difficult for them to get in right now. And I don't know what else to say. Like, that, this is not one of those don't panic years. Like, the panic right now is absolutely appropriate. It is appropriate panic time. I can almost certainly assure you that Joshua Brisco will be panicking when we talk to him in a couple minutes here. And that could be an entertaining conversation. We'll have it next for you. Don't go away. More Sports Daily coming right up.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
All right, we welcome you back in here. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland, joined now by Joshua Brisco, Chiefs Radio Network, pre- and post-game coverage each and every weekend right here on the Odyssey family of networks with Josh. You can find him also on the Everything Else and Only Weird Games on the KC Sports Network. On social media there and the podcast and the streams. And, Josh, I was worried about you. I almost texted you to check in yesterday. I was a little concerned. I was like, boy, this was a frustrating loss. That feels like that one might be a little emotional there. That game was very annoying.
It certainly was. Annoying is a very fair, kind way to describe what we saw happen yesterday. Look, the post-game show's a pretty well-oiled machine. We've got a really excellent crew that is able. This is not leading into a joke about how the Chiefs don't have this. This is just true. We have an excellent crew where everybody is super good at their job and keeps us all moving on time and everything. So, if anything, I would say yesterday's show was shorter than I wanted it to be, because usually the shows go a little longer when we have more interviews and more positive things to talk about after a win. And yesterday, I think we probably talked about this last week, the import of that game altogether. That was a really big regular season game for the Chiefs and probably the most important AFC West game they've played in nearly a decade. And I think that means that's one of the worst regular season losses this team has had in roughly that period of time. I mean, it's pretty bleak stuff. They're 500 during the 11th week of the NFL season. That's not good.
Josh, we'll talk about the game and how it happened and everything, but we'll jump right into the big stuff that everybody's talking about at work on this Monday morning. Is the
Shockers?
Dream
how about
dead?
those Shocks? Let's
That's
go.
Right. That's exactly what I said. Is the dream dead for the Chiefs? What is attainable at this point?
Okay, so here's the good news, I guess. And I don't know. I was texting my brother about this last night. He didn't want to hear it, so I understand if a lot of people don't want to hear it today. I think the AFC West is nearly completely out of the picture. Like, if you want to talk about the dream, the 10th consecutive AFC West, you would just need the Broncos to implode in a way that seems unlikely, while also having an incredible stretch of football the rest of the way, which seems equally unlikely. I don't think this team's going 11-5, which is funny to say. I do still think they're probably a wild card team. And the good news on the dream, as you ask it, TJ, the good news is that I don't know if there are any teams in the AFC that I fully believe in, who I fully buy into as proper top-line AFC Super Bowl contenders. Maybe this is the year for the Bills. Maybe you do get the Patriots resurgence. There have to be two teams playing in the AFC Championship game, and I think at least one of those teams is going to be a surprise. So I have a bunch of 5-5 teams. Are you telling me that you were more convinced by the Ravens squeaking by the Browns yesterday to get to 5-5? No, I think those teams are the Chiefs and Ravens, pretty similar teams in identical spots almost at this point. the playoff pitch isn't dead, and if they make the playoffs, there is always a chance that Patrick Mahomes carries a team that's been struggling to its best 3 games in a row, and suddenly we're talking about the AFC Championship game, we're talking about a Super Bowl. The truth is, though, of course, you can't assume that. Right now, you can't even assume that they're going to be a playoff team, because at this moment, they're still not. They had a real chance yesterday to wash away a lot of the sins of the first half of the season, to say, hey, we're 5-4, but winning this game means we're probably favored to win the West, and certainly we're back in the playoff picture in a really positive way. And they laid a pretty big egg in an effort to do that.
And before we get into the specifics of yesterday, just sort of on this topic, I think, for Baltimore, I think what scares me about Baltimore is their schedule down the stretch is not that difficult. The Chiefs is obviously a gauntlet. So then we look through it, and they'll have to beat Houston. They will have to beat the Chargers. Those are absolute musts. But can Jacksonville lose, let's call it 3 games? Can the Chargers lose 3 games down the stretch? I think that's what it will take at minimum. And then the Chiefs are going to have to go 6-1 because the tiebreakers aren't in their favor. The Jags' schedule is pretty tough. They haven't played Indianapolis yet. They have Denver. You can look at their remaining schedule, and Chiefs fans just root hard for the Colts. I think from here on out, the Colts can help the Chiefs a ton. But their schedule is not as soft, I don't think, as the Ravens. And then the Chargers is pretty difficult as well. It's about like Kansas City's. So you're going to need help. You're going to have to play well. They haven't played. We can dissect the rest of everybody's schedule to hope it's in there, but at some point, that if the Chiefs don't play better, they're not going to go 6-1 down the stretch here. It's not happening. So you got to just start with them.
That I completely agree with you there. That's the thing of just like, hey, people ought to know that the door isn't wide open, but the window is open for them to make that run. But the team that we watched play yesterday isn't doing that. The team that showed up against the Bills, like you said, that's not a 6-1 football team starting with the Colts on their own schedule. I don't think there's any argument against that. So I think the team and fans need to know that while the AFC West is virtually over, the playoff seed is not. The wild card opportunity is not. If you play like you've seen this team play in the last 2 games, it's just not going to matter. It doesn't matter what the Jags do, what the Chargers do, what the Ravens do, because you have to have your team playing better football. The upsetting thing about all of that is that I think, for the most part, when we talk about the Chiefs, even when we talked about them through the ups and downs this year, they're still the Chiefs. Like, they do still have Patrick Mahomes, and they do still have Spags and Andy Reid, and so there's always this feeling of like, yeah, even when they're in the muck, when they're in the mire, when they're in the tar pit with all these other teams that are in a similar place, well, I'll pick the Chiefs out of that bucket because they've done this before so many times, and they have the game breakers, if you will, specifically Mahomes. Right now, I can't make a really strong argument on that one. To say like, oh no, I think if the Chiefs and Ravens played for their playoff lives in week 18, or if they next week, whatever it was, you match me up with any 2 teams, I can't tell you, no, I'll take the Chiefs when it really matters, because yesterday was a game that really mattered and they couldn't do it.
I know the Chiefs have, earned the benefit of the doubt and everything of that nature. As I brought up earlier in the show, is that, right now it's a little bit of the duck test. Does it fly like a duck, quack like a duck, and swim like a duck? It's probably a duck. The Chiefs make penalties, make stupid mistakes, and lose stupid games, and that's a team that is that. So just going back to yesterday, just kind of what was it that, cost them this game? Because there's no more excuses about there's no Rashee Rice, there's no Josh Simmons.
Right.
That was the team that would play in the Super Bowl.
Right. To your point about them, let's say safely ducking around too much. The problem for me, and the thing that I'm actually pretty upset about, is that was the team after the bye. What's the pivot? Is if there is an evolution for this team, we were supposed to see it yesterday, which is again you get a few steps into this and you start feeling like you're saying, well, I don't think Andy Reid has a pivot. Well, that seems stupid. That's been wrong every time over the last most of his NFL career. I mean, I guess obviously in Philadelphia at some point the magic ran out or whatever. But since Andy Reid got to Kansas City, he's only won and turned things around, and certainly with Mahomes. So it feels a little silly to be like, I don't see the pivot coming. But yesterday was the chance for that. Yesterday was essentially a AFC West qualifying game, and out of the bye, and to your point, with the crew you wanted, with your basically your ideal training camp roster. I know Isaiah Pacheco, and that matters, but maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. Like Kareem Hunt was the only guy that got a designed run yesterday. And I know Brashard Smith is not really playing running back, and Elijah Mitchell or Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't really matter. I don't know. Kind of baffling to me how that's been built. But the thing that has really kind of gotten stuck in my craw that I don't think I'm going to feel better about anytime this season unless they end up making a run. You do have a better offensive line than you had last year by leaps and bounds. You have a better wide receiver room than you had last year, and it's healthy by leaps and bounds. The offense did have a stretch, had a moment of Lions, Raiders, Commanders, where those pieces, and obviously Lions was pre-Rashee Rice, but those three games gave you that feeling of like, oh, okay, so they have found their groove offensively. This is a team that is going to bring these pieces together and be able to be at least as good as the sum of its parts. The offense we've seen these last two games has been no less painful than the 2024 offense when they just had to duct tape that thing together and keep it moving, which was in its own right really impressive considering the degree of difficulty there. But this year was supposed to be easier, more fun, more explosive, more consistent. And it just hasn't been any of those things over these last two games. And again, you talk about when the games matter. I'll pick the Chiefs. In fact, that's what I've done to 2 consecutive losses in Bills and Broncos games. Those games matter. I know it's not Thanksgiving yet, but those were games that had a ton of impact on what the future was going to be if they're making the playoffs at all. And there was no evolution. There was nothing easy offensively. There was no rhythm. I don't know. This sucks to say. This sucks. I don't know what the Chiefs' offense is good at. Guys, they have Patrick Mahomes. They have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice and deep threat Tyquan Thornton, and they draft Xavier Worthy. I don't know what the offense does well right now, even with the best collection of talent they've had on that side of the ball in quite a while. It's really, really concerning.
They should throw the ball well. They have Mahomes. That was not a good Mahomes game. That was a bad Mahomes game. He missed at least 2 touchdowns on deep balls, maybe 3 touchdowns on deep balls. He had critical drops. He was behind Brashard Smith on a first down throw that keeps he had a bad game. And so that's the part of this that also is interesting to me. I think the game plan was solid. They should have had 14 quick points off the top. Those balls, the receiver was open. Those should have been touchdowns, and he missed the throws. The drops, those should have extended drives. So what are they good at? What did they put? The game plan was there. Like, it was good. They jump out of the gates with 14 quick points because he hits those throws, and we're having a very different conversation today, but he didn't. So I don't have any problem with the design of it. I'm not going to complain that they didn't run the ball more to Kareem Hunt. Maybe they should have adapted during the game and done that. Maybe. But the plays were there. The players didn't make the plays. So if you're going to tell me that this team is a good passing team, and I think that they are, but Mahomes didn't make the passes, I kind of just have to live with that. It's Mahomes. If their identity is to throw the ball, and it should be, and he's not making the plays, like, what are you going to do? It's Mahomes. If he's not making the plays, you're not winning the games. You just got to hope he makes the plays like he always has.
I think you're right about kind of the first 15 and some of those early misses. I think that's a really good call because you're right. If those land, and it seems like the Chiefs had a real plan to push the ball downfield, try to go over the top, make Riley Moss make 1,000 penalties, which he obliged. So I think that facet of the game plan made a ton of sense, and you're absolutely right. Mahomes has to hit those. He hasn't been an elite deep ball thrower post Tyreek Hill. It's kind of been a slightly frustrating part of his otherwise like nearly immaculate game. But you're right. He's got to hit those. I think the thing that I would nitpick on game plan wise, going both back to how this season has gone so far and taking kind of the rest of the game there, is that there is so little rhythm. There are so few easy buttons. When I watch other offenses around the league, I do see throws that are set up for a quarterback to just make a read, deliver the football, pick up 6 or 7 yards, maybe you get some yak, and then you move on to the next thing. Mahomes, to me right now, is sort of stuck in this place where it feels like almost everything's a trick shot, where so many things are either, or it's a mountain of RPOs in this game, which they didn't really run against Buffalo, if memory is correct, but you're constantly running these RPOs where at the mesh point, Mahomes is going, I'm throwing this football. And then you're making all of these decisions in real time as the bullets are flying that way. I don't know. Mahomes will never say this, and I don't even know if he's feeling it. But man, I would really love to know what it felt like for Mahomes to be able to just sort of run an offense on its toes, and to be able to just sort of build these, and not like last year where it was ground and pound and just pray that nobody makes a mistake, but just finding a few of those easier things. Like I don't know what's going on with the Rashee Rice parts of the offense at this point. And again, I think he had the back shoulder of his own. You could put execution issues on pretty much everybody, which is another collective thing where it's like, great, so everyone has a hand in this, including Mahomes, including Reed, including Rice. Everyone has a hand in this, and they're 5-5. That's a lot harder than cleaning up one thing. So I don't think that's good news, but I certainly think you're right that it's everybody involved. I would love for Mahomes to be able to have a couple of drives that aren't always about all of the processing he has to do and then making the exact right throw at the exact right time. I don't know if the wide receiver room has been less successful than they thought it was going to be. And again, so it's sort of a pivot, but like the like alpha Rashee Rice taking over some of the Travis Kelce role kind of thing isn't what we've seen the last couple of games, and we were seeing it a little bit, as he was kind of making his return off the suspension. I don't know if that's still the plan. I don't know if defenses are taking that away and saying somebody else should beat us. But then to your point, again, kind of full circle here, when you have Xavier Worthy open behind the defense down the field, someone else has beaten you. You have to take advantage of that. So that's I don't think anybody can really claim to be blameless in this one, at least not on the offensive side.
What a weird time, Josh. At 11 a.m. yesterday, the Chiefs were the Super Bowl odds-on favorites from Vegas, and now we're here. Just to peel back the curtain, I talked to somebody about this yesterday. I started covering the team in 2022. This sucks. This isn't supposed to happen. Like, what is going on?
This is the way every other fan base feels.
Exactly. I was like, I've never seen the bad football. What's going on here?
Yeah, I since joining the Chiefs radio network, including the preseason, I'm 5-8. So the preseason games, the results don't fire people up too much, but it does kind of change the tenor of it a little bit. And it's like, all right, we saw mostly backup, so I'm gonna just kind of grit my teeth, and we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna talk about God, I'm trying to remember who the funniest sort of like, we're gonna talk about Elijah Badger. I don't even know if he was healthy. He was just a training camp name that stood out. But yeah, 5-5 with 5 losing post game shows, when last year they did 1 losing post game show that included the starters. I continue to kind of ask around. Like, I'm not gonna fall on the sword, but if we need to kind of come up with an agreement, where I got to get James Franklin or whatever, and I'll take my $50 million and I'll take one for the team. I'd love to help. Unfortunately, I think I am doing all I can at this point, probably for the best. I was gonna say I don't think the Chiefs need me, but I don't know. I'll go in on the whiteboard and be like, Andy, have you seen what happens when Kareem Hunt runs it under center? I'm sure that would be met with open arms. Yeah.
Yeah, he would receive that very well. Yeah. Maybe it's good news that we don't even have time to talk about the lack of a pass rush. We'll save that for another day. We get Chiefs again this weekend. Boy, it doesn't get any easier against the Colts. You guys will have the coverage for it. They're favored.
I think Josh is going to start picking up cigarettes at Quick Trip.
Yeah.
What I saw the line this morning and I thought I misread it. I was like, oh no, that's perfect. Actually, that's kind of the ESPN analytics gives the Chiefs a 61.7% chance to win that game. Why not?
They have been much better at home. They have been much better. And so maybe that's it, but it ain't going to be pretty. We'll have you guys on the Chiefs radio network getting us ready for it. we'll be here. If they lose that one, I mean, we might get the forks out.
I had already been grappling with the fact that, of course, we're doing Thanksgiving and Christmas games this year. Just, a very busy holiday
they might
season.
mean nothing.
I hadn't considered that, TJ. That was not on my radar, is that maybe those games aren't going to matter. Oh, no.
Oh, that's going to be brutal. All right. We're not going to get to that point. Josh, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
We'll get there.
Better days ahead, I hope.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter here of Sports Daily. It is a great time of the year at Crestview. Get a little bonus golf as we've gotten with the weather participating, which has been nice. But, it is that time of year where holiday parties are coming. Crestview is available. They have all kinds of different ways you could utilize them for the holidays. We'll be doing Thanksgiving to go there, by the way, but Christmas parties, all that kind of stuff. And telling you, if you're thinking about joining, you can get the best deals right now on all the different ways that you can be a part of something that's a lot of fun for our family. Maybe we'll see you out there. Give Crestview a call. Tell them we sent you here from Sports Daily. Thanks to Joshua Brisco there of the Chiefs Radio Network for hopping on with us to talk a little Chiefs. Look, it's going to be the story. It's going to be TJ. I'm just going to tell you right now. It's going to be a long week. It's going to be a long week as it pertains to the Chiefs. We're going to have to talk a lot about how annoying and frustrating this all is. It's coming. We're going to get a lot of overreactions. We're going to get a lot of appropriate reactions. We're probably not going to get any underreactions. You're certainly not going to get that from me. And I've been in Chiefs underreactor for the last 4 or 5 years.
I know. I'm there.
It's like, don't worry about it. Like, just talk to me in January. That is not the case this year. They've never been in more danger to not reach the postseason than they are right now. And it is a very real danger and will remain that way, I suspect, through the end of the regular season. It's going to be a long month and a half.
Yeah, I mean,
the path to get there is rough.
I'm with you. I'm tired of underreacting to say it's the Chiefs. They'll figure it out, because there's no part of me that believes that this Chiefs team can figure it out anymore. And if we're wrong, then people can have their field day with it.
I think they can figure it out, right? I think they can figure it out. Rick and others ask, well, what are we seeing that makes me think that? I think they can figure it out and play better, and even play better consistently, because there's a longer track record with most of this group than just parts of this season, certainly. So, yes, I think they can still figure it out and become a good team the rest of the way, certainly. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's going to be enough for them to reach the postseason. I really do think 6-1 is like the benchmark. They'll get, if they go 5-2 and make it, it will be because they have gotten lucky. 6-1 probably is going to allow them to control their own destiny to try to sneak in. So while I think that, look, they can play better. They probably will at home against Indianapolis. They may win that game. That's all fine. But it's the question of, even if they consistently play better, even if that happens, will that be enough to get to the postseason? And that's where we sit right now.
I can't believe they're favored on Sunday. I keep going back to that. Like,
yes, you can. They're at home. It's the Chiefs.
I mean,
at home. You can.
I can believe that they're favored, but there's no part of me believes that they should be. Like, if they win that game, it feels like it's an underdog thing. Like,
the Chiefs have not been favored. I'll bet you over the last 5 years, the Chiefs have not been favored fewer than 10 times.
Yeah,
so
I believe that. I'll change my tune here. I'll change my tune. I think that, I don't know how I want to phrase this, but it doesn't surprise me that they're favored, but if they are not, like, if the Colts are not backed by the public at like a 90% clip, that will surprise me.
Yeah.
Because Vegas is trying to make money.
Yeah, they're on paper better than they were a year ago. It's just they have
not on the field.
Right. They just haven't played well too often this season. At the beginning, look, they had injuries. They had other things that we were dealing with, and suspensions and all that stuff. So, but since they've been healthy, they have not been playing well, especially not on the road. And not on the road has meant really bad performances the last 2 times we've seen them out. So that's something that they'll have to do to get better. All right, let's talk KU real quick. Let's talk Darryn Peterson, and we'll get more into this throughout the week. Darryn Peterson, TJ, like we're having a panic session this morning here with the Chiefs. Are you panicked at all for KU basketball at this point?
I mean, it's officially, the needle is moved on the panic scale. I don't think I'm panicking. I'm probably at like a 2 maybe on the Darryn Peterson scale. I think that just because of the fact of, like, it was one thing and it was a different thing, which is fine. That can be a thing. And then it's gone from it's sore, we don't want to push it, it's day to day. And then after the game, 24 hours later, it's for the immediate future. And so like that makes me think like, what did he do to his hamstring? Like and to be fair, hamstrings can get worse over time. Like
they can.
That likely probably happened.
I hear they first thought cramps, and then if you look like Jeff Goodman yesterday, like the people that are close, Shreas, who we'll talk to later in the week, the people close to it are the ones that are I think reacting in the way that makes me feel better. Like everybody. This is not some like he has a hamstring injury. And I think for whatever reason, Bill Self is just kind of not saying it the right way or something after games that leaves the door open to this. Well, what do you mean? Like if a week ago or 10 days ago, Bill Self had said, here's the deal, guys, Darryn Peterson has a hamstring injury. We're going to have to shut him down for a little while. Like we're going to have to get that thing right so that he's ready to roll. Yep. Then this would be a very different 100%. Conversation. And everyone's like, oh, well, that sucks. And I think that's honestly, like, I think that's what this is. They've realized now, like, oh crap, he has a hamstring injury. We have to shut him down. Like we can't let that thing linger. And so no, it's not it's just Corpus Christi. He doesn't really need to, or watch, he'll be ready by Duke. No, I think it's like we've got to make sure his hamstring's right.
That's the thing. If he would have played against Duke and then like played 40 minutes, then that's whenever people could be upset about that kind of thing. But he's not going to. Like Bill Self said that like he doesn't expect it to be anytime soon. So I can't imagine that means Duke. Unless this is some weird gamesmanship, but Bill Self doesn't play it like that typically.
No, or unless he's limited, but with a hamstring, you can't really be limited. You got to kind of go or not go.
That's like the thing that you're completely right here is the fact that it would be different if they would have said it's a hamstring thing. We don't know where he's at. But the fact that they were like, yeah, he practiced this morning and it was sore, so we're just going to take it easy tonight, and then turn into like, we're not sure what that means for Princeton. And then like the day before be like, yeah, he's not going to be able to do it. And then it's like, why? And then after the game be like, yeah, it's the immediate future. So it's like, if that's it's like, oh, that was the slap in the face. It's like, oh, he's hurt. Like he's actually hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt. And I don't think it's anything more than that. And I think honestly, like for all the panic, quote unquoters out there, that's probably good news that it's that, and they just need to get that right. And it's not anything else, because I don't believe at this point that it's anything else, because everything would be speculation at this point, right? The people closest to it or who have access to behind the scenes conversations are telling us they just didn't realize how bad the hamstring was, and they thought it was something else, and it's the hamstring, and they've got to be careful, because the reality is they've got to be careful. I'm TJ, I'm telling you, like I am so excited for K-State basketball and Wichita State basketball right now in this moment on November 17th. And I think that's appropriate. I think appropriate for KU. And I know it's a Duke game and it's going to be fun, and it's Notre Dame, and then it's Syracuse, and they have all these games. They have UConn. Like I am not going to truly like care about outcomes and those kinds of things probably until conference play begins, or at minimum until Darryn Peterson is just cleared to land.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, for KU, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And that's the thing. Like it's annoying because they play such great games early on, but by all accounts, this freshman could be starring in the NBA right now. And so to be overly concerned that he's not getting the reps, like there is a world, and nobody wants to hear this, but I'll say it because I think it's true. There is a world where the rest of this roster forced into bigger roles gets better, and they are ultimately better because they've had to go through this stretch to learn, well, who are we if he's not on the floor?
Yeah, 100%. Like last night, I didn't get a chance to watch the Princeton game. I was covering K-State football, and looking at the stat sheet last night for Sports Sunday, like, oh, Flory scored 25. Like, I didn't know that Flory could score 25 without Darryn Peterson on the court. If Flory could score 25,
I didn't know he could score 25. Period.
Yeah, like this is
And he's
that
done
is
it
a good
twice
thing
now this year, basically. So that's what I mean. And if Cole Rosario, another young player, develops into option 2A or 2B with Florian Peterson, a lot will have changed for me with expectations for this team. And then, okay, everybody else on the roster, who is going to fill out that lineup and be the people that make this a hard-nosed, mistake-free, who's going to step in and fill those roles then? Because those are things that, early on, if you've got the best college basketball player, if that's what Peterson ends up being, and that's saying something, as Cooper Flagg was incredible last year, but, guy in that conversation, if you've got that and he's your crutch early, there will probably be moments, if had he played every game, where it just becomes the Darryn Peterson show. Yeah. And while we still want that late, for sure, we still want that to be the thing, everybody else having to do something asked a little bit more of them is not a bad thing. And guess what, KU fans, they may lose a bunch of games that you're not comfortable with, but unless Peterson stays hurt, but assuming Peterson just is going to stop playing until he's ready to actually play and stay playing, I don't really care. It doesn't matter. I just want to see the nuance of their game. I mean, I still want them to win, and I'm going to enjoy watching their games against big-time competition, but I'm far more concerned that these other guys step into the roles that ultimately could help KU down the stretch and into conference tournaments and things like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I agree with you that this could be a big deal of helping KU down the stretch of who this team is, because, I mean, I could play this hypothetical. If Darryn Peterson, knock on wood here, don't think this is true, Darryn Peterson's out for the season, is this a top half Big 12 team?
Oh, no. No.
Is it a tournament team?
Fringy, probably.
That's the scary part.
But that was that reality existed, honestly, when and how many times have I told you I am unnerved by putting the weight of the world on a true freshman for a Bill Self team. That feels really uncomfortable to me. And that's what we have. Now it's time to find out what everybody else has, because he's not there. It makes me uncomfortable, even if he is there, to put that much pressure on a true freshman like that. It's not normal for a Bill Self team, right? That's not what we typically see. Now, what is normal didn't work the last 3 years, so I'm willing to enjoy it and have fun with it, but don't panic if they're playing it safe with the hamstring. Everything rides on this kid this year. You don't need him playing through hamstring injuries against Princeton in November. Shut him down until conference season. I don't care. Get him right by the time the games matter. We'll discuss it more throughout the week. We're coming right back. We got a little more Sports Daily. Don't go away.